Yeah. Very good. How have you been? So you know about 170 and
It's aggressive.
the kid wants to be a pilot now. And he spent the first 50 hours of his flying in a tailwheel. He'd never flown a tracer.
Justin, you want me,
Never flown
it
a
says
tracer.
admit people, you mean admit people?
Airplane.
Now, who's this?
My son. He
Really?
graduated
Yeah,
high school.
Don
He's
White.
up at Epic Flight Academy now. I said, well, I'll sign you up for that academy, but I'm not gonna let you just go to some button pushing academy. You don't know how to fly. And so I had John Black teaching him the 170.
Cool.
Yeah. Worked out really well. We went there and he's like, God, with a nose wheel, it's like, man, to fly it, it's so easy. I'm like, yeah.
There's a lot of challenge out.
Big difference.
Get just enough tail wheel time to know that's a true statement.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Everything. Just doing this.
Working.
I haven't flown in quite a while. Running the currency if I don't pick up a trip in the next week. I'm not gonna do a sim, we'll see.
3:30 now?
Spring break, just all the stuff coming together. It's a good tactic. I like.
Like twice last week. I'll probably get in May.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to have cataract in my right eye done, you know, talking about
Hey, Don.
stuff. I'm like, no,
Right on time.
I could just go out 50%
Yeah.
in the next 3 years. Not working at 50%. You know, pretty tempting.
That discussion with a few people.
You'll miss it.
Well, you're gonna miss it either way at some point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Why is it bring it on earlier, man?
Yeah, it might as well be.
Call the meeting order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You'll notice item C on the agenda actually is I'm gonna move that roll call. Roll call, please.
Okay, Mr. Craig,
Present.
Mr. Mouse,
Here.
Ms. Curry, Mr. Molitor, Mr. Whitmore,
Here.
Mr. Voss,
Here.
Mr. Granger,
Present.
Mr. Doherty,
Present.
Mr. Burke.
Here.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. This month we lost Jerry Sansom, who was a longtime member of this board. Actually became chair when he left. Jerry left a lasting impression on this organization as well as many others in Brevard County. So I'd ask for a moment of silence for Jerry and his wife Dixie. Thank you. Kevin, is there any changes or additions or subtractions to the addendums to the agenda as presented to the public?
Negative, sir.
That being said, may I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Moved by Mr. Voss, seconded by Mr. Granger. Is there any opposition? Seeing none, the motion passes. Please note that Ms. Curry has joined. We still have a quorum. Thank you, Ms. Curry. Good to see you. Approval of the minutes is next. Is there a motion to approve the February 15th regular meeting minutes as presented? Moved by Mr. Whitmore, second by Mr. Granger. Any discussion? Hearing none. Is there any dissent? Seeing none, the motion passes. 6-0. No, yes. Okay. Kevin, action item.
All right, for the board's consideration tonight, we're pleased to report FDOT has provided their first round funding assistance in the amount of $3 million for the construction of our new air traffic control tower here at Space Coast. It's an 80-20 grant. Our local share for the grant will be $750,000. Their plan over the course of the next 18 to 24 months is to continue to amend the grant and add funds to it. As we previously discussed at, I think it was the last meeting, we're going to be receiving or being awarded $2 million of the ATP funds for the bipartisan law, infrastructure law. With that being said, they're kind of aggressively rolling this stuff out, the money out. So they want us to have bids in hand and a grant application for the $2 million by the end of May. So April 1st, the air traffic control tower will be put out to bid. So we're very excited about this and we're recommending approval and happy to answer any questions.
Is there a motion to approve the grant approval of the FDOT grant agreement as presented? By Mr. Whitmore, seconded by Mr. Voss. Is there any questions or discussion? The question I have, if you could refresh your memory, what is the total project cost estimate?
So the 100% engineer's estimate, of course, it still has to go out for bid, but the construction cost is $9.5 million. Then you add another 15% for construction administration and then inspections. Then we also have to have a FAA reimbursable agreement. It takes us to around $11 million all in total.
20% of that.
Yes, sir.
Of the entire.
So what our plan is to kind of do the slow roll with it, give the contractor plenty of time, plenty of space to actually do the project and do it over 18-month to 24-month period so that we're able to, slow it financially.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of the say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Hearing none, motion passes.
Awesome.
6-0.
Thank you.
Kevin.
All right, for leases, we have the board's consideration for approval of a lease assignment and assumptions agreement from River Flying LLC to River Flying Hangars LLC. For accounting purposes, Dr. Niazi is requesting this lease assignment. The same material terms and conditions will apply. Nothing really changes. Like I said, he just needs that lease assignment for accounting purposes. So we're recommending approval. Be happy to answer any questions.
Do I hear a motion to approve the lease assignment as presented? Moved by Mr. Voss, second by Mr. Granger. Is there any discussion or other questions?
Yeah, what's the stat? What's going on over there with
So, sneaking suspicion you're going to ask. So, most of the site work has been completed. Their engineer and Dr. Niazi told me that they're working their way to get their building permit. They anticipate construction on this, and this is for the south side. They're anticipating construction to begin in 2 months. So for the building.
And is this separate from the north side?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question about the north side?
Yeah, please.
Is there any truth to the rumor that the north side impinges on other leaseholds? The
No.
access in and out of it?
No.
Okay.
The only issue with the north side would be the AWAS, in which that's being moved to the south side.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have it backwards. I'm sorry, I'm thinking north. The south side, on the south side, is there any truth to the?
There is truth to that, and with the two fly lease agreement, they seem to one of their talks is that taxi lane is not part of their leasehold. But we're working through Exhibit A issues with them and survey issues with them. That is a FBO public use ramp that the airport put in using FAA and FDOT dollars. So there should be no reason
Okay,
why a tenant cannot cross that ramp.
good.
Look, are they doing, it looks like there's some sort of site work being done on the north side.
I think they're temporarily storing dirt over there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I drive by there on Sundays. So.
Yep.
I was like,
Something's
moving
happening.
something.
Is that a potential restaurant site?
That is the plan. They still have to go through permitting and engineering, and one of the other challenges to the north side is none of the infrastructure is there. Water, sewer, 3-phase power. So that's something we're gonna have to help them with.
All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor of the lease to agreement and assumption as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion passes 6-0.
Awesome, thank you.
Kevin.
All right, for our February invoices, we'll start with the Merritt Island for the North Corporate Hangar for the construction, C&D pay app number 8, $108,843.40. For the AWAS for inspections for AvCon, pay app number 14, $2,826.90. Trinity Electric, which is the construction of the AWAS, $142,643.34. And the Recondo Master Plan, which is pay app number 13, $32,595.82. Coming over here to Space Coast for the runway 1836 design, AvCon pay app number 7 in the amount of $45,032.50. And then the master plan for Recondo, which is pay app 13, $27,108.72. And moving on up to North Titusville at Arthur Dunn for the AWAS, AvCon pay app number 15, $2,095.27. And then the construction for Trinity, $154,980.54. And then the master plan for Recondo, pay app number 13, $17,618.24. Happy to answer any questions. We're recommending approval.
Did you mention the USADS building?
Nope.
Christian, which one do you have?
Do I have an old one?
Number
We have
3
updated,
under Space Coast.
The USAT still.
Oh, okay. I don't have the updated one.
And we also have AvCon pay app number 8 for $86,900.
No, okay.
Underneath the runway
Under the
136.
design building.
All right. Sorry about that.
Sorry, it's a moving target as soon as we get them in.
Yeah.
Put them on because of the delay and
So.
I would like to add, if I may.
USADS building though isn't like, I mean, that's something we know about.
Yeah, that's One Bristow Way. Remember we gave them $1 million to buy it. Then we have 3 $240,000.
I'm just saying that was not a new one. though.
Oh, my
No.
God.
What's that?
That was an oversight.
Oh, that's all right. I just want to make sure we're all, so.
Yeah,
it
that's
is-
sorry.
it is one we're approving, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
clearly.
Thank you. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I think all the board members have an updated version.
Yes.
And there were a couple.
As usual, it's just me.
Try to
All
keep
right, do I have a
Aye.
motion to
I don't know if I
approve
can.
the invoices as presented? Moved by Ms. Curry, seconded by Mr. Whitmore. Is there any other discussion or comment? Hearing none, call a question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion passes.
Awesome, thank you.
Justin, you got the computer working?
Maybe. All right, legacy project, update, corporate hangar, Merritt Island, we're getting there, we have power, still no water, we're waiting on as-bills now from the contractor. The last thing we need for water, City of Cocoa has everything else. They're going through punch list items, today and tomorrow, the fan's working now. You haven't been there. And then once we get water, we can test the lift station and pretty much we'll be done. Fire alarm, the county came back and said we need a flow sensor that detects that the sprinklers are activated. So that is will be installed, but the contractor said it'd be just a few days before they can have it installed. So it's approved by microfilm. Project updates. Arthur Dunn, we have power now. The contractor is going to mobilize next week to start installing the actual weather equipment. There's a little shot of the new pad. And Merritt Island power is still an issue. When I talked to FPL today, they said they're hoping to have it installed by the middle of April. There's a little bit more work to that one. They have to put a transformer in. But everything's there waiting for them. But the ticket, the work order was released to the contractor. The contractor has it on their schedule, but they're saying it's at least 3 weeks.
Justin, if these are pictures of the actual facilities as they are, I think that the information there is dated on the slide regarding what's going on for both airports. They talk about things that are gonna happen in the future. It looks like they've already happened.
As far as on the.
Design commence once location is determined, design building anticipated. Aren't we beyond that?
Yeah.
I think there's a
summary.
current status
Yeah.
up there.
It's a summary of the schedule. It's, I can remove that from there if you like.
Well, it was, I read that and then I looked at the picture and I thought, oh, is this a conception that we have of what it looked like? But no, that's an actual picture.
No, that's
So
an
we're that
actual
far into the process.
Almost done. Another 30 days and it will be 30 days for Arthur Dunn and then this will probably be 45 days for Maryland.
Interesting looking AWAS.
It's nice up there. I invite everybody to go up there and, bring a picnic, lunch and hang out.
Some nice views up there.
Yeah.
Do you have any umbrellas up there?
We can work on this for you.
I can see
Lawn
the chart
chairs.
over some of those
Picnic tables.
verticals.
Challenger Avenue Extension Design, we just went through the 90% drawings. We're working on some additional funding for the other half is Space Florida, and the other half will be.
Yeah, we're working with Florida Department of Economic Opportunity. We've briefed them on the project. They like the project and they're encouraging us to put in a grant application for consideration. So we're going to try to get that done next week.
1836 design, and it's at our 60% drawing review. The bids will go out next month. Hopefully, they come in low and we can start that project. Noise complaints. A lot of this is for it's actually February. A lot of noise complaints this month, currently this month at Arthur Dunn. Arthur Dunn is doubling in traffic right now. You can see there. They're kind of on a little bit of a spike. Embry-Riddle and Epic have found that to be the best little secret. So they have just swarmed that place and they're there from 7:30 in the morning till sometimes 10 o'clock at night. Just, yes.
Mark, did you tell your son about the place? What
Yeah.
happened?
Only needs to go there.
So there's been a little bit of an uptick in noise complaints the last 2 weeks from residents in the area. We actually met with a lady today that lives right at the approach end of the runway.
One of the world's nicest noise complaining
Yeah,
person.
very nice.
She really was. I mean, just happy about that.
We're trying to just teach her that, there's, the FAA kind of restricts us from restricting traffic, so. It's an ongoing issue up there.
Yeah, none of those complaints took place on first Saturday when they have their fly-in.
No, and actually the residents, they'll tell me that. We know they have the pancake breakfast. We know that doesn't bother them, just the constant. It's just like Merritt Island, but Merritt Island's 3 times worse. It's just every, 60 seconds, there's someone coming over and Riddle comes 4 at a time. They just saturate the small airport, so.
Have you had any complaints from corporate customers up there, like the Skydive Center or anything like that? They're
Not at all.
getting along with it?
No, matter of fact, that resident was very complimentary of the skydive
Right.
airplane today.
Yeah, and she said she's lived there for eons and she's very familiar with the different noises and she doesn't mind the turbine of the King Air as opposed to the one piston engine, so.
Hey, she was nice and didn't break furniture today, so we
Yeah.
were happy. It's good.
Yeah, so Arthur Dunn averaged 102 ops a day, Space Coast 256, and then Arthur, and Merritt Island 346. So Merritt Island was a little uptick too. Good weather.
All right, any other questions for Justin? Justin? Yeah.
So we have the preliminary financial statements for February 2024. Can you hear me okay, Mr. Boss? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, so on the balance sheet for our current assets, we have 3.1 million. For our non-current capital assets, we have about 71.5 billion for total assets, 74.7 million. We have deferred outflow resources of $278,000. And for current liabilities, we have 1.5 billion. And non-current liabilities at 1.5 million. So total liabilities are about 3.1 million. Deferred inflows of resources is about 4.7 million. And we have a net investment in capital assets of 65.7 million, with a total net position of 67.1 million. Now moving on to the income statement, we have a consolidated operating revenue of 1.6 million for February. We have total operating and maintenance expenses at 1.2 million for consolidated. So total operating expenses with depreciation of a little over $1 million is at the total operating expenses 2.3 million. So that leaves us with a loss of a little over 714,000. And then we have operating expenses, non-operating expenses and revenues for a negative 4,000, little over $4,000. So our gain and loss before contribution is 718,000 loss, and capital contributions are at 1.5 million. For a change in net position of 856,000 through February, almost 857,000, leaving our net position at 67.1. And then the budget overview, the major component out there, we're in line at this point with most everything. We spoke about marketing last month, but that's just because of two things that are rolling out. Trying to budget for our upcoming. I think I forgot to mention the check register. Has any questions in the financial statements or the check register?
That work hour payment for an annual fee?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody have any questions?
Just one question. I see under marketing, we've spent 72.5% of our budget. Do we people need more?
No, we've just put a lot of time and money into website development and some collateral stuff that we've been working on for a little while now. But no, we'll stay within the confines of the budget.
Other questions? Thank you very much. Adam?
Nothing on my end.
Does anybody have any questions, Brad?
Go ahead, I'm sorry, was there a question?
You wanna know what to fly?
We are proceeding with eviction.
No,
That's been filed and working on getting a possession trial for a number of reasons.
so it doesn't look like that's gonna get resolved.
Oh, it'll get resolved.
Well, you know what I mean.
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, it's at the board's discretion as far as resolution, but, I don't think there's a path forward where there's a solution where the tenant stays. And if that's the case, then the tenant has no interest in selling. So I think we're just too far apart on our goal. So I mean, obviously I'll keep the board apprised, but.
In that regard, so I would just recommend that since it is an open legal, issue, if individual board members have questions or concerns, you direct them to Adam, directly, just so we don't, especially those that are involved with Merritt Island and stuff, just to, keep that separate, because we as a board, will eventually have a discussion and a vote on some certain things. And, so those questions need to be, probably presented to Adam. If you have those questions and concerns at this point, unless you've got something that you want to bring to the board as a motion or just a kind of a.
So the question I asked, I shouldn't have asked.
No,
No,
it's,
you can ask that.
we, because it's active litigation at this point, we do have the ability to conduct a closed meeting, what we call a shade meeting, which wasn't called something so shady, but that's what it's called. So if that's something where the board wishes to have a full brief so that the board can consider the settlement options and consider the budget and the cost of moving forward, we certainly can arrange that, and can notice it for even the next meeting, if that's the board's pleasure.
Do we need to start marketing the facility?
I think we have some time.
How long will that take?
It depends. We're working now on trying to get trial as quickly as we can. When you have, they proceed, the eviction and breach of contract cases, breach of lease cases tend to proceed kind of as a bifurcated process, where you have the right to summary procedure under Florida law for the eviction claim, for the possession claim, but then the breach of contract and damages, the non-possession related matters are subject to just the standard, processes. So that takes much longer. But the way these typically go is we've already reached out to the court to try to obtain dates for a trial on the issue of possession on our claim for eviction and possession. And the only thing that's determined in that is whether we have the right to possession of the premises. And then we move forward from that point on to the trial on damages.
And this lease issue on the taxiway, that's them saying we can't taxi down that?
No, honestly,
I didn't, that's the first I'd heard of it.
yeah, no, honestly, no, that's not why we are where we are.
No, I know that, but I mean, is that what they're talking about out in front of the?
I don't think that really got brought up until recently.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It may be time. I mean, again, at the board's pleasure to conduct the meeting. There's a history. Issues that are now in the complaint, and it's public, so you're welcome to it. Have been ongoing since at least July of 2022. So this, in my opinion, this was not a situation where, we weren't trying to work through these things. Maybe on both sides, but in the end, this is where at some point the rubber has to meet the road. So.
No. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Are there any, board member reports? Anybody have any questions, things to talk about, things to bring up? I'm here.
I have a question. I forgot to ask Justin when he was up. The power for Sebastian, what's the status of that?
FPNL, has changed, planners, and it's in their queue to give us a price to just put the hole down in the, next to the pole and then one line down.
Thanks.
Kevin, you have I know you were up in Birmingham this week.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little,
Absolutely. I was planning on doing that. So I attended a industry workshop with the American Association of Airport Executives, the Southeast chapter. I was able to go up there, and there was a strong Florida presence up there. The Broward County airports were up there along with GOA, myself, and some West Coast airports. Believe it or not, we were all messed up over the time change because it's Central Time, because we just sprung forward. But it was good to network with everyone. There was some good content up there, and a lot of it helped us solidify what we were doing with the tower. One of the best discussion points was the construction segment, where they talked about make sure that you're engaging contractors. It shouldn't be any surprise that these projects are going out to bid. They talked about labor shortages, material shortages. So there was some pretty good takeaways from it. But it was a fast trip. I was only up there for a couple days, but I was glad to be able to do it. So I'll be happy to do a report and answer any questions you guys have.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Other,
I was just gonna ask, we used to have an agenda item where we talked about outreach other than Kevin's report on his trip, but what, did we eliminate that agenda item?
I don't recall if we had it. I think if it was on there, maybe we're happy to bring it back. Yeah, we can bring it back. I think a lot of the stuff, I didn't want to be repetitive because a lot of the stuff we put in the monthly report or bi-monthly report, but we can certainly bring that back. Give you a report on it.
I don't know if it's required every month, but I
Well-
thought it was fascinating.
Okay.
The things we were doing.
all right, we're at public comment. Is there any member of the public that would like to comment? Hello, how are you
Hi,
today?
everybody, good. I'm Elizabeth Schneider, and I wanted to make everybody aware, if you have nothing to do after the meeting tonight. If you are aware, today is 3/2/1, March 31st, March 21st. And the American Space Museum is honoring a gentleman by the name of Robert Osband, nicknamed Ozzy. And he volunteered at the museum for about 20 years. He died last August. And they're having a celebration, kind of a street party in his honor. So if you have nothing else to do, they've got food trucks and music and stuff taking place over there. So
Awesome.
if
Thank
nothing else
you.
to do,
Yeah, thank
he
you.
was responsible for bringing the 321 airway code into.
Oh, wow.
four
How cool.
counties of Brevard County. Or 4 counties of Florida, which were counties for the 321. So anyway, if nothing else to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other member of the public? Yes.
Mr. Alvos is now in receipt of his Master Pilot's Award from the FAA.
Nice.
We just have to present it at the appropriate time and place. And by the way, when I received that in the mail today,
I'm sorry.
when I received that in the mail today, the envelope was open.
Oh.
Oh, and here we go again.
It sounds suspect.
Way to go, Al.
Yeah.
You have to,
Congratulations.
you have to beat Roger Maltar's party at his house. You gotta top that.
That's a high bar.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Oh, we'll look forward to the celebration.
Well, somebody asked me, what does it mean? It says, it means I survived at least 50 years.
That's awesome.
I do have one thing. If I
Yes,
can.
please.
Today, the VAC hosted a very successful old parts fly-in. They had 67 or so airplanes fly in. The tower handled it very well. Staff, everybody was out. It was a great event. Everybody had a good time. No incidents. And weather was superb.
Superb.
You fly. You go there.
I taxied. I was want to, but I parked it. I figured they were going to need the parking spaces, so I put it in the hangar and went up, drove up.
Excellent. Yes, please.
Kevin Panic, 623 Oakwood Place, Titusville, Florida. I missed a few meetings here recently, and I was wondering what happened to the Miami crime, the stealing of our money from Miami, the check thing. Did that ever get resolved?
Bank.
Out of the bank?
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
it
Yes.
come out okay for us?
Close for
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Jessica, I think it was the business development update.
It was.
Yeah, got it.
That was.
Took me a minute, but I got it.
We can use a little of that.
I'll do it right now. Actually, I have some notes. I would tell you, it's a fascinating time right now. We're working all these leads. We have 2 from Space Coast EDC. One is a eVTOL manufacturer interested in 500,000 square feet on the possibly the south side of the airport. We have 2 MRO operators looking for space here. What else? We just received a broker email from a group interested in jet engine aircraft manufacturing here. And then UCF is possibly looking at an incubator space here at Space Coast. So yeah, it's interesting, but we will bring that line item back. Yeah, and I apologize for that. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. It's yeah, normally like this time of year, it usually slows down the election cycle, but it seems to be going full force right now. So it's very exciting. Yes, you bet.
All right, any other comments or questions, concerns, business to be brought before the board?
Is anybody online? So,
Don White, I don't know if we're all gonna be able to hear him here.
I don't see, there's no signal.
This is the signal right here.
Oh, do you see him?
Don, are you there?
Yes, I am. I just don't have, I don't have anything today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Don.
Okay, thanks, Don. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, I couldn't see the laptop in front of me. Very good. Awesome. All right. No other business before the board. We'll call it adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are